Yeah, Cormac Ryan was in heat check mode all game against Duke. He had a career-high 28 points, 21 in the first half. He is hot right now in his last 5 games, 16 points a game, 63% from 2, and 60% behind the arc.
Irish won 73-59 3 weeks ago at Coral Gables. Game 2 tonight. We get Matt Potter, Brent Hampton, the umpires. And on Valentine's Day, who else is the referee but Ted Valentine? And Miami wins the tip, and the Canes, who start their 6th different lineup in the last 6 ball games, have first crack at it. And Wong early. And here's a look at the Irish starting lineup. Features Cormac Ryan in there for a 2nd straight ball game too, Paul.
Well, Mike Bray started him after the Georgia Tech game, and it paid off with 28 points. The first time these two teams met, it was 73-59, but the score was not indicative of how close the game really was.
You see Laszewski get the Irish ahead, and here's Miami's 2nd possession. Elijah Olaniyi is the transfer from Stony Brook, who's had an impact since coming back into the lineup after an ankle injury. And Wong on the reset of the offensive iron a minute in. Inside, the shot got blocked off the hand of Harlan Beverly in a Notre Dame foul.
Miami, a very resilient team this year. With all the injuries, distractions, interruptions, Notre Dame had to shoot 65% in the second half in the first meeting to pull away.
Foul was on Nate Laszewski, his first. And Harlan Beverly at the line. Not a particularly strong free throw shooter. This Miami team is 13th in the ACC at 68%. Free ball from Ryan. Missed off the back iron. It will stay with the Irish. And of course, the Notre Dame head coach, 61-year-old Mike Bray. Now in season number 21, the all-time winningest coach in Notre Dame history. And he's had 5 21 seasons in the ACC.
And he has a great pulse on his team. After the Georgia Tech loss, that story today was fabulous. Cormac Ryan did not get a shot off with an opportunity to tie or win the game. Mike Bray met with his staff on the bus. Next day, he decided to start Cormac Ryan at Duke. Paid off with 28 points. And coaching is so much more than X's and O's and recruiting. You have to know the pulse of your team, and this guy right here does it as well as any coach in the country.
Paul, why does he have such a good feel? This team, this is like the 3rd or 4th straight year they've been really good once February hits. Is it sometimes take teams a couple months to gel sometimes, and certainly this year all bets are off, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. His team is the junior class is the core of this team. So last year they started to see the light at the end of their sophomore year. They started slow this year. I think a lot of teams started slow except for Baylor and Gonzaga this year, and maybe Iowa. And now they're starting to play with that confidence. He told us this morning this team now is showing signs of life, and there's still plenty of games to go.
Foul on Juwan Durham as Nasir Brooks, the transfer from Cincinnati, had a chance, and he will go to the line where he is 62%. So the Irish have committed a couple of early fouls here, but a moment ago Beverly couldn't take advantage at the line, and neither can Brooks. By the way, the free throw percentage we spoke of, it's 68% for Miami. It drops even further down in conference play to 67%. And Brooks hits the back end to put the Canes on the board. 2-11 into the ball game.
And it's unusual for Notre Dame to foul this early. They lead the country in fewest fouls at 11 per game. So they only have 9 more mulligans to go.
Yeah. Lob for the post. Durham the catch and scores with the right hand. Nice bucket for the Tampa grad student, Juwan Durham, who's been playing pretty well as of late. He also leads the ACC in field goal percentage in conference play.
And everybody talks about the shooting and the spacing, the passing of Notre Dame, and that's all true, but they have a little bit of an anchor inside with Juwan Durham. Last 5 games, this stat is incredible. Last 5 games, he's shooting 74%, all in the paint.
1 point lead for the Irish. Beverly had it altered. Recovered Durham. Here's Hub. The Irish trying to get in transition without numbers. Ryan trailing at the front.
Notre Dame does not need numbers to put it up.
No, sir. Skip for Cormac Ryan. A shot fake gets him to the baseline. Back around the front for Hub. Back rim miss on a triple, and Brooks the rebound.
Miami has to do a great job in this game of chasing Notre Dame off the three-point line. It's going to be a big key in this game. Jim Larrañaga said, when they catch the ball, we got to be there on the catch.
Olani misses from the perimeter on the right. Brooks recovered the deflection, and then he is fouled. And that's going to be the second on Juwan Durham. So all three Notre Dame fouls belong to the two guys in the front court, Laszewski and Durham. And here with 16:21 to go, Juwan Durham is in foul trouble, and Nasir Brooks goes back to the free throw line. And that means Nikola Djogo, who played 13 minutes in the victory at Duke the other day, has to check in early for the 6'11" Tampa native Durham.
Djogo, a big body, 6'8", 230 pounds. He's got a little outside shot, but he is primarily in the game to bang inside.
Still a 4-3 ball game. Goodwin in the corner. There's Djogo dropping the three. 11th triple of the year for the senior from Ontario.
Yeah, he can make that catch and shoot three-point shot. Percentage is not great, but if you give him time, he can make you pay.
Irish with a 4-point lead on Djogo's triple here, Paul.
And a zone. You're going to see a lot of zone defense by the Irish tonight. They're going to have to make Miami prove it.
McGusty feeds Olani. Nice move underneath for the basket.
Yeah, Jim Larrañaga has seen zone all season long. They haven't been real successful against it, but they do a great job of not settling just to shoot that three-point shot. They do a great job of working the baseline, the short corner in the middle.
And Cormac Ryan drops a three. So back-to-back threes for Notre Dame. Their last two possessions, they've doubled the number on Miami early.
It's never been a problem for Notre Dame to score points. If they're going to finish strong the second half of the ACC, it's going to be about the defensive end.
Isaiah Wong drops the three. Now neither team can miss, and Hub tries to keep the answer. Cannot. Two-point game. Wong for the lead, and Miami has it.
Yeah, no body pressure against Isaiah Wong. You gotta get up into his space, take it away, make him put it on the deck, force him into help. The last two threes by Wong, he's had plenty of time and space.
Djogo on the attack, all the way to the rim for the easy bucket. Not a lot of defending at either end, Paul.
Everybody's afraid of foul trouble. Miami doesn't have enough bodies to get in foul trouble, and Notre Dame doesn't play defense usually with enough urgency on a regular basis to be in foul trouble. Nice pass.
Quick. Oh, yeah, Brooks delivers on the dunk. He's got three. Miami back in front on the hammer from Nasir Brooks.
Mike Bray told me last week, he said, look, we've been doing a lot of one-on-one compete drills, trying to teach my guys how to play defense on an island.
Drive by Hub, got blocked. Here's Beverly trying to get to the rim. A kick back from McGusty. Pull up in the lane by Cameron McGusty, and Laszewski the rebound for the Irish. They've already had 5 lead changes here in first 6 and change, and make it 6 on the Hub drive. First points for Prentice Hub.
Yeah, Miami totally was lost in that conversion. First thing you gotta do is stop the ball. The second thing, pick up cutters to the basket. A little bit of a YMCA feel right now.
Yeah,
each team getting what they want.
The two teams are 11 to 23, and there's the drive and bucket from McGusty. Ryan is hurt on the play, and a foul is called. Snowy South End, Indiana. Cormac Ryan on the move toward the Notre Dame locker room. Team doctor going to give him some treatment, and you get a look here. He stepped on the foot of Nate Laszewski, it looks like, Paul.
He did, and he's holding his ankle. Now, he walked off under his own power, which was a great sign, but he went to the locker room, so they'll take a look at it, see how severe it is.
Yep. Cameron McGusty will shoot the free throw. Foul was on Nate Laszewski. It was his second. So Notre Dame brings Juwan Durham back in with 2 fouls to go with Djogo, Goodwin, Hub, and Trey Wirtz has entered the lineup to spell Cormac Ryan. So Mike Bray finds himself doing some shuffling with fouls and now the injury to Ryan, much like Jim Larinaga been dealing with all year.
Not quite as much, but that was a pretty good analogy.
Yep.
Keep your eye on 2 in the white. 2 in the white for Notre Dame. Trey Wirtz is a proven outside shooter. Notre Dame has to play with more of an urgency on the defensive end.
Yeah.
They're hot right now. They've won 5 of their last 7. They're trying to make a run here to knock on the door for an NCAA tournament. And they haven't come out with urgency defensively.
Fall away by Anthony Walker is good. Nice move by the sophomore from Baltimore.
He's a much improved player for Jim Larinaga. More finesse than physical, but has skill inside.
Djogo has one bounce away. Durham made the save to Hub. Here's Wirtz. Missing from the perimeter. Trey now 3 of his last 12 from the floor. And Walker back to work for his second field goal. 2 trips, 2 baskets, Paul.
And they're getting them easy. Points in the paint for Miami right now are just dominating this game.
Here's the feed. Djogo got it to Durham, took the extra dribble, and will draw the Miami foul. And that will get us to a timeout. Canes have been on a bit of a run here. 6-0 run over the last 94 seconds to build. It's got to feel pretty good. His team's hit 7 of the last 8 shots from the floor and has a 5-point lead here, Paul.
Well, Jim Larinaga has built winning programs. Bowling Green, George Mason, and Miami. Obviously, at George Mason, that Final Four run. But this year, I think he's done a great coaching job, and people will probably hit me on Twitter and say, what do you mean he's done a great coaching job? They're 7-11 and 3-10 in the ACC. And you're saying he's done a great coaching job? Yes, he's lost a bunch of starters before the season. He's lost players during the season. One of his top freshmen left the program. And he still managed to keep this team competitive and winning.
2 free throws for Juwan Durham. Trims it to a 3-point Miami lead. And the Canes have got Dane Goodwin on the floor, along with Anthony Walker, Elijah Olaniyi. You see Isaiah Wong with the ball. Foul line. Here's Walker, who's already got 2 field goals, make it 3. What a nice boost he's been off Miami's bench here in the last couple minutes.
Well, he's long and athletic. They put him in the middle of the zone. Jim Larinaga now is experienced at playing against zone. He's seen that most of this season. They rotate McGusty, Wong, and Walker in the middle of the ACC logo. It's paid off.
3 ball from the perimeter for Dane Goodwin. 39% 3-point shooter with his 28th triple of the year, and the Irish to within 2.
Dane Goodwin may have to have an extra special game. Cormac Ryan doesn't come back.
And Elijah Olaniyi fighting for a second chance and a bucket. Yeah, good point, Paul. I think the 3-point thing takes a hit. Wirtz and Goodwin may have to make up some ground there. Inside, Durham hard to the basket. He'll draw the foul. Either Walker or Gack. Matt Potter from underneath will tag Dane Gack. It'll be his second. The 22-year-old redshirt junior, born in Egypt, moved to Australia, hands Miami their second foul. Don't forget, we've got a special women's basketball matinee for you coming up at noon Eastern on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Katie Meyer's Miami team, who lost today at Florida State, will be in Atlanta to see Nell Fortner and Georgia Tech. High noon basketball on ACC Network and always on the ESPN app. Wow, look at this, Paul.
He went out in pain, and he comes back. Got it taped up, little ice. Sometimes they just retape it a little bit tighter, and they realize that it's not a severe injury, of course. And he's a tough young man. I mean, Mike Bray told us he's all business. He's feisty. He's competitive. And that's the way he was in high school. Miami has 12 of their 23 points in the paint against the zone. That's not a good sign for Notre Dame.
Walker the miss, works the rebound. Here's Hub, bounce pass. Durham went for the right-hand hammer, and it got blocked by Brooks.
Nazir Brooks is just a physical wall inside for Miami.
And that time Durham blocked the first one, then the second one, and Ted Valentine, I think, has spotted a foul. If this is on Juwan Durham, it's his third. It's on Nate Laszewski. It'll be his third. Oh, wow.
Yeah, they got Laszewski on Brooks. And that's one where Laszewski just has to stand straight up, not even challenge the shot in any way off the ground. He's saying to himself, I went straight up, but you know, any movement at all in one direction or another, you're giving the referee an opportunity to make the call. I don't say give the 2 points, but let the 2 points go and keep yourself in the game.
Yeah, instead he has to come out. You get a look at Notre Dame really playing with 4 guards and Juwan Durham. Miami's built a 5-point advantage here, and McGusty's 3. And Durham the save, and then bounced it off of Brooks. It will go to the Irish.
And that last possession, Notre Dame went to man-to-man, so Mike Bray sensing that his team needs a little shot of aggressiveness.
And Paul, you mentioned this. They don't commit many turnovers. They don't commit many fouls. And already, the Irish have committed 5 team fouls.
Notre Dame is a team that doesn't beat themselves. And Mike Bray doesn't have, you know, many rules. Don't turn it over and don't skip class. That's what he told me. And when it comes to the offensive identity, yeah, they're all about the offense. They're about taking care of the ball, shooting threes, don't turn it over, and don't commit foolish fouls. They just need an influx of defense. They need to get their defensive intensity ratcheted up if they're serious about the second half of the ACC. They have the offensive capability to beat anyone in the conference.
Hub misses the 3. It's a 5-point Miami lead. To your point, the only 2 turnovers in the ball game belong to the Irish.
I mean, they dropped 85 on Ohio State. You think they're going to win that game? They gave up 90. Beverly,
Olani, baseline Brooks, and Durham cleans it up.
That was pretty wide open.
So's this. Ryan had it rattle out on him. Boy, it's catch and shoot in this first half for the most part, isn't it?
It is, and you see Miami, they get the defensive board. They're going to walk it up. They're going to run their offense. They'll play against the zone defense. They'll try to get some easy ones, but they don't want this tempo to be up in the 80s.
Wirtz ahead for Ryan. Under 8 to go in the first half. Miami has built a 5-point advantage here. Goodwin trying to lock in on that, and does. That was from out in Goshen. 6 for Goodwin.
Yeah, his dad, Damon Goodwin, was a great player at the University of Dayton. Played for the legend Don Donaher. Great free throw shooter. Outstanding 3-point shooter. Now the head coach at Capital.
Ball bounces around, and Brooks the great save, and here's Wong trying to take advantage of it. Walker the rebound from behind Durham, blocked by Goodwin. It will stay with the Canes, but we get a timeout. Well, Goodwin is
powered by U-Haul. Your move made easier.
2-point lead for Miami. 7 minutes and change to go in the first half. Visiting with Jim Larrañaga, Paul, we've talked about the trying circumstances Miami's played with this year. Here's his ideal lineup, and he's got no games of that, obviously, with Sam Wardenberg missing the whole year, and he only had lights for a couple games, and Chris in street clothes after being able to practice a little bit this week.
That lineup was picked preseason number 5 in the ACC, and you can see why. Jim Larrañaga said, the team that we've recruited the last 2 years, we have not seen that group, that unit on the court together at the same time. And there's a certain point in time when it gets disheartening. But the positivity that he's coached with and keeping his team together has just been amazing.
Ball got batted away on the miss by Walker. And here is Djogo running the floor and draws the foul at the rim. I think that'll be on Walker as well. That'll be his first. So Djogo to the line where he is perfect on the year. I've probably done damage to that. Nope. Survived that. ACC softball makes its debut coming up this week, Thursday, 11 a.m. Number 12, Florida State and Georgia Tech. They kind of got softball into some pods this year. We'll have great coverage for you. Lonnie Almeida and Aileen Morales hook up this week. Doubleheader right here on ACC Network, and then Friday coverage starts at 1 as well. Also available on the ESPN app. Tied at 25 after the free throws of the senior from Ontario, Canada, Nikola Djogo.
Notre Dame sitting down in their stance a lot better right now, sliding their feet.
Blocked by Ryan. Yep.
Mike Bray must have lit into them at that timeout. He says if we can sit and slide and stay in front, we can be a really good team.
Here's Goodwin. Backing in on Wong. Fall away. Tapped out. Ryan with a fresh shot clock. Wirtz attacks. Floater falls in for Trey Wirtz.
Trey Wirtz is a proven outside shooter. He gives the Irish another offensive weapon.
And we get a timeout. Nothing run. Miami's missed their last 11 shots on the floor, Paul. Remember earlier they had hit 8 of 10 in this contest, and now a little bit of a drought for Jim Larrañaga's team, and Notre Dame's regained the lead.
Well, Miami has had a lot of experience in scoring droughts this season. They don't shoot it well behind the arc. They struggle at times to attack the zone early in the season. Much better now in February. But they can get cold as a unit.
Walker on a kick out with 8 to shoot. Here's Beverly trying to find something. He'll settle for a 3. Walker the rebound and missed on the stick back, and Goodwin and Walker battle for it, and Walker tried to make the save but did so to Djogo.
That was great effort by Anthony Walker.
Bounce pass in traffic, layup. Djogo no good. He got the rebound, and Notre Dame will reset with 5:05 to go.
And Djogo really runs well rim to rim. He's gotten a few layups just by running the court.
Turned over by Hub. Here's Beverly right to the rim, and it got knocked out last touched, I believe, by Prentice Hub. Harlan Beverly from Detroit. Prentice Hub from Upper Marlboro, Maryland. We got a lot of BWI guys on the floor tonight. A lot of Mike Bray I-95 on the floor. Even some I-95 for Jim Larrañaga, too.
That I-95 goes all the way down.
Ooh.
From the DMV to Miami.
There's McGusty. Left it on the front rim and recovered by the Irish, who lead by 2. Interesting half. Notre Dame started sluggish. Here's Ryan, a catch and shoot 3 that misses.
Notre Dame was really sluggish against Duke the other night. They had a great second half.
Walker with a spin draws the foul. Trey Wirtz is first, the 6th on Notre Dame, I believe. And a couple of free throws coming here for the Canes to try and tie it. And Coach Bray, always fun to talk to. We covered a lot of ground in our visit earlier today. Free throw by Walker. No good. He talked about they had to kind of prepare 2 scouting reports, Paul, because they had heard that Jim Larrañaga had talked about Chris Lykes practicing this week. And so when you factor Lykes in that lineup, no matter where he is, you know he's a playmaker.
I think every coach that plays Miami is holding their breath, saying, I hope it's not going to be me that Lykes comes back against. That is a dynamic young man, playmaker, shot maker. And when he gets back on the court for the Hurricanes, he's going to give them a shot at confidence and points.
Has not played since December the 4th when he sprained his ankle against the Hatters of Stetson. And there's a travel by Wirtz trying to beat Beverly off the bounce. And here's a note for you, Paul. 4 turnovers for Notre Dame, none for Miami in this first frame.
And Notre Dame, one of the best in the country in the low turnover game. So they're great in low turnovers, one of the best in fewest fouls. They have 6 fouls and they have 4 turnovers. Not a typical Notre Dame first half.
Yeah, they had 16 though in the first meeting against Miami. Lost the turnover margin by 6 and yet won the game partially because of their 3-point efficiency. There's the drive and bucket for Wong, his first 2-point goal and Miami's first 2-point goal in a long time. And Notre Dame thought that ball was in.
And those 16 turnovers, a lot of those turnovers, nice shot by Wong. Those turnovers, West, came late for Notre Dame because Miami had a press to get back into the game. Notre Dame looked shaky down the stretch, but they closed.
So Wong hits a 3. He's now got 11 in this first half. And we get a timeout. Miami now, who went over 5 minutes without a made field goal, has gotten 5 in a row by Isaiah Wong. And the Irish trail by 4 at home when we continue. 4-point lead for Miami, 31-27. Get ready for a full Wednesday of ACC basketball here on the network. We'll start at noon. Boston College and Georgia Tech, presented by Geico. Then NC State and Pittsburgh at 4:30. But wait, Biancardi, that's not all, because there are 2 more that night. 6:30 Syracuse Louisville, 8:30 Duke and Wake Forest, right here on ACC Network and streaming live on the ESPN app. And we put Isaiah Wong out there because you'll get a chance to see some of the other most improved players in the ACC. We're getting a look at the best scoring improvement from one year to the next year tonight.
Isaiah Wong has had 15 points 13 times this year. He only did it 6 times last year. 10 points a game different from last year. He's been sensational. He's my vote right now for the most improved player. Nate Laszewski as well. I mean, he's rebounding better, scoring better, and he's shooting the ball behind the 3-point line and from the field goal at a high clip. David Johnson has had a lot of double-double games this year. And Justin Champagnie, I know he could be on this list or he could be on the MVP list as well for the Big East. I'm sorry, the ACC. Pitt was in the Big East at one time.
Yep. But you're right about Champagnie. Panthers lost a tough one in Atlanta by 6. Moses Wright, he might be on that list too. He had 24 points tonight for Josh Pastner's team, who picked up the victory. They're 10th on the year, and they're level in the ACC. Dallin and Luke Hancock, more on that coming up at the half.
Georgia Tech, I mean, Josh Pastner must be taking heart medicine. 2-point win against Notre Dame. Loses at the buzzer against Clemson. And now today in a close game against Pitt. He's too young for heart trouble.
Irish got a hand in the pass lane. Trey Wirtz will check in. And Cormac Ryan goes out for the Irish.
Wes, you look at that.
Interesting ball game. Paul, we've had 8 lead changes. Nobody's led by more than 5 here.
Seems like each team's giving it back to each other. You know, they're letting each other score. They're letting each other shoot. And Notre Dame probably a little timid right now because they have 6 fouls and they're a low foul team. They only average 11 fouls per game. Miami's had a couple of scoring droughts in this game.
Hub misses a wide open three for the lead. Goodwin runs it down in the deep corner.
It doesn't seem like either team wants to take it right now. Notre Dame has been great in the second half this year.
Wirtz misses the three. Djogo gives the Irish a third chance.
And if you're Miami,
to go.
And if you're Miami, you got a chance to win another ACC game and build some momentum and confidence.
Djogo, nice pass. Durham short jumper rolls in. So the third time the charm. Juwan Durham's got 7. Nice feed from Djogo. We're tied at 31.
Djogo's given Notre Dame some nice minutes. 9 points, 2 assists.
Ten to shoot, and on the drive, McGusty kicks back. Walker 3. And Djogo the rebound. Notre Dame want to turn the tempo up or hold for the last one.
You got to hold that for the last one. You go in tied or you go up. You don't let Miami touch the ball.
Here's Hub with 6 seconds. Goodwin step in, 2 at the horn. And we will go to the locker rooms tied at 31. Biggest lead for either side was 5, and 8 lead changes, Paul, in the opening 20 minutes.
Hopefully the second half will have a little more defensive intensity, but offensively both teams played very well.
Stay tuned. Dallin Cuff, Luke Hancock coming up. Halftime at South Bend, tied at 31.
They only had 1 turnover, which was a really bright spot. They had 10 offensive rebounds, 14 point paints. They just couldn't shoot the ball from the outside, but Notre Dame was no better. I think each coach is probably happy right now to be tied in this game.
There's Durham, got pushed away from the basket by Brooks. And that's what Ted Valentine whistles the foul on the senior from Philadelphia. His first of the half on Miami. By the way, Nate Laszewski kind of handcuffed in the first half with foul trouble. Remember, he picked up that third with 9:09 to go. So he's back on the floor for the first time since then as Juwan Durham goes to the line.
If you're Mike Bray and you see your shooting percentages, you see one of your stars, Laszewski only with 3 points, you probably feel pretty good about your team at halftime. There's a lot of things they had to clean up, just like Miami. But Notre Dame's been great in the second half this year, especially in the last 2 games. They shot 65% against Miami the last time these 2 teams played. That's how they pulled away. And against Duke, they put up 48 points in the second half. So let's see.
9th lead change of the ball game on the free throw by Durham, and now Laszewski the block of the drive, and here comes Cormac Ryan on the hustle for the Irish. See Olani dig in on Laszewski. Durham a long 2 for Juwan Durham. 3rd field goal, 10 points now, 5 straight double-figure games for the 6'11 Durham.
Well, he's been giving it to the Irish on both ends of the floor. Blocking shots, low post game, and a short little face-up. That was beautiful.
Olani, the long 3 on the front rim.
And I like the way Notre Dame goes to Durham. Beginning of games, beginning of the half. They play off of him through touches, or he can score one-on-one.
Skip across for Hub, and a quick check on Laszewski at the post here. Foul line. Now they go high-low, and Laszewski had it stripped. Tried to make the save, did. 6 to shoot. Hub tried to bounce it to Durham. Back for Prentice off a deflection, who missed the 3. Look at Goodwin fight through. Irish are going to get another chance here, Paul.
Fire away. If Durham threw that ball a little bit higher to Laszewski, that would have been a dunk. He had position on the small defender.
2 minutes and change gone in the second half, and McGusty draws the foul on the drive. And the foul on Cormac Ryan. First of the half on the Irish. Couple of free throws coming for the Oklahoma transfer Cam McGusty, who a year ago against the ACC averaged 11 points. And finished strong. He was double figures in 6 of the last 8 in conference play. Don't forget, we've got women's basketball matinee for you at noon Eastern on Tuesday, right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Miami and Georgia Tech from McCamish Pavilion in Atlanta. Georgia Tech third right now behind Louisville and NC State in the standings on the women's basketball side.
You're talking about Cam McGusty.
Back end free throw.
Yeah, he's the guy who has to score in double figures for Miami. You know what you're going to get from Wong. He's been giving you 17 points a game. Brooks not really a big scorer. McGusty is a guy, a proven scorer. He's getting 12 a game. He came from Oklahoma. He played with Trae Young, so he learned how to score the ball. At least he learned how to shoot it.
Well, a knee uncontested drive to the rack. He's got 6. Tied at 34. Laszewski leads Durham for the dunk.
Notre Dame reads each other so well offensively. Not a lot of set plays. Great spacing. They know how to read the defender, cut to the basket, move it out the ball, and they really do a good job of catching and seeing, making the pass.
That time the drive got denied. Here's the Irish on the run. Ryan a 3 from the corner. Hub the rebound. Boy, how many second chance opportunities has Notre Dame gotten tonight?
In the second half, they've gotten a few. You can feel the explosion coming right now from Notre Dame offensively.
Hub missed the 3, and it hit the line. Last touch by Miami. It will stay with the Irish with a new 20.
Beautiful cut by Laszewski, and just such a quick give up. It's an excellent passing team. That time defensively there was a gap that you and I could have drove down. and that's where you scratch your head a little bit. You're in the middle of the ACC standings. You're trying to get a strong second half finish this season. You can't have those kind of breakdowns.
Yeah, you see some changes for the Irish. Nikola Djogo has come back to the floor. Paul talked about what a strong first half he offered. Now you see Nasir Brooks check out for Miami along the way. That means Anthony Walker's come back on the floor for Coach Larinaga. That ball got knocked away. McGusty challenging the inbounds pass to Dane Goodwin. Canes have won just once on the road in the league this year. That was the 5-point victory in Raleigh against NC State. High layup throw from Hub, drops in. Second field goal for Prentice Hub.
Not many playing better the last 5 or 7 games than Prentice Hub. He's averaged 15 points and 8 assists in his last 5 games. Think about the guards in this league: Carlik Jones, Jose Alvarado. Hub playing as well as them.
What a little flip by Djogo. He's in double figures now, Paul, with 11.
He has been a great spot off the bench for Notre Dame. Just energy, points, and production.
6-point lead, largest for either school. Early second half action at South Bend continues. It was a big piece of the Irish success tonight, Paul.
Yeah, let's give this young man a little bit of love on Valentine's. He deserves it. Yeah, he's scoring, he's rebounding. Yeah, scoring, rebounding, assist. It's productivity level. He's fit right in with the other guys at Notre Dame. He knows he's not the primary option, but he scores with opportunity.
And defends Wong here off the timeout. Biggest lead of the night for either school at a half dozen. We've had about 9 lead changes as well. Here's Walker, a 3, and knocks it down. 7th pointer of the year for Baltimore's Anthony Walker.
Jim Larinaga says he shoots the ball so well in practice, and sometimes in the game, the percentages are not the same. He's trying to get Walker to shoot more inside the arc. Standstill threes, it's pretty good, but he's trying to get Walker to go from 3-point shots to 2-point shots.
Oh, and Djogo throws in another triple to give him a season high. He's got 14 now, and he has sparked Notre Dame.
He heard his name coming out of the break.
Walker on the drive again. Goodwin. Djogo. Is he feeling it? Goodwin a three. Bounds away.
And Notre Dame has not played great in this game at all, and they're up 6. You feel like they're just going to have an explosion offensively, but their defense keeps letting them down.
Olani picks up his 4th field goal. He's got 8.
And we talked about this at the Open, Wes. Miami is a resilient group. And they don't go away in games. They grind you out methodically.
And the drive from Beverly, and we get a whistle and a foul. And a timeout. Foul on Olani will send us to the benches. 43-39, Notre Dame by 4 when we continue from South Bend. Well, championship week starts March the 3rd. Paul, can you believe that a month from today is Selection Sunday?
It's exciting to see the finish line, isn't it?
Oh,
you know, January
it might be a little bumpy and a little curvy, but we're going to get there, I think.
Little turbulence as we land. But yeah. January was a grind for everybody, and February is really separation time. It starts to get exciting because you can see the standings start to take shape. Trey Wirtz with a nice finish.
Yeah. Boy, Notre Dame continues to add to it. It's a 6-point advantage. Here's McGusty, a catch and shoot. And Durham had a shot at it. It hit the inline out of bounds. And it will stay with Miami.
But Durham's got 2 hands on that ball. He's got inside position. You got to squeeze that ball with your hands, pivot, throw the outlet, and let's go.
Yep. Look at McGusty weaving in. Kick out. And a 3 from Walker offline. There's what Larinaga's talking about, right, Paul?
Exactly, and that was a great contest by Wirtz. Now Notre Dame right into their flow.
Except for an unforced error. Prentice Hub trying to get it to Trey Wirtz. Threw it behind him. Irish turned it over. 7 in the ball game now for Notre Dame.
Analyst jinx right there. Praising a team, and then they make a mistake. But you see Mike Bray? You see Mike Bray showing his hands? It's okay. Relax. Calm down. You know, he doesn't show his frustration, and I think the kids really respond to that well. He knows how to turn the page quickly after a bad play or a bad game. Well, not a lot of coaches can do that.
Yeah, good point. Notre Dame doesn't turn over much, and then Miami, who only committed 1 turnover in the first half. Their lowest turnover total since about a year ago against Wake Forest, now gives it away a 2nd time.
You know, the pace of this game keeps changing. 1 minute it's Notre Dame scoring in flow, making some stops. Next thing you know, they turn it over. Miami has the push. They get right back in it.
We've had 3 turnovers in a row, 2 by the Irish, 1 by the Canes. Miami misses the layup there, but second chance opportunity coming.
Yeah, it's been a sloppy game.
Yes, it has.
And it's been a poor game, I think, defensively.
Backdoor lob. Wong the catch and flush.
Now that's a big time play. And when you're on the road, sometimes you need momentum changing plays to get your team a little bit more excited. Get a little juice going.
Quickly to Djogo, who's working on a season high tonight from a scoring perspective, but he's done a lot for Mike Bray's team, including a crossover and layup at the iron. 16 for Djogo.
It's been Notre Dame's best player. It's been
back to a 6-point Irish lead. Yep, they sure are. Wong, the miss of the 3. Both teams under 40% tonight from the floor. Here's Wirtz again off the bounce. Skip for Goodwin's 3.
So, Wes, you have two teams that are not shooting the ball well. So what's going to win the game? Your defense.
And there is Wong fouled on the drive. Well, Nikola Djogo having a ball game. He's got 16 points and 6 rebounds in 18 minutes of play. Well, you got Nate Laszewski and Prentice Hub averaging almost 30 a game. Tonight they've combined for 6, so somebody's got to pick up the slack, Coach Biancardi.
Djogo is picking it up and putting it down. What a great example of coming off the bench and being ready to play. A lot of guys come off the bench and they have to get ready. And Djogo just dived right into the action. Made threes, made his free throws, rebounding at a high clip. And he's made this Notre Dame offense productive in this game because they are not shooting the ball well at all from the field or from the three-point line.
Isaiah Wong
right now, yeah, 38%.
Bangs home a couple of free throws. His first trip there tonight. He's got 15. He and Anthony Walker, the only double-figure scorers tonight for Jim Larrañaga. 4-point game. Laszewski, it's been a quiet night. And one coming on the Brooks foul. Second field goal for Nate Laszewski. Nasir Brooks commits his second, third on Miami.
Well, Mike Brey made a little isolation play out of the timeout. Put Laszewski at the wing and let him operate. This guy has improved by leaps and bounds from last season. He's gotten stronger, so you see it on that possession, the ability to finish in traffic over bigger defenders. His jump shot is just pure from the outside. Highly skilled at 6'10". Reminds me of a former Notre Dame great and NBA player, Pat Garrity.
Oh, yeah.
Garrity scored a ton of points at Notre Dame.
7-point lead. McGusty, quick feed to Walker. Tried to go back door and instead squeezes it up and in.
Well, Walker did a great job of catching it, composing himself. Didn't rush, didn't bring the ball down, and just finished with his length.
Now, he's almost doubled his scoring a year ago against the league, by the way. You got to be excited about where his future might be. Here's a Notre Dame turnover as we reach the midway point of the second half, and Wirtz will slow down the McGusty transition chance with a reach. Third on the Irish, second on Charlotte's Trey Wirtz.
Miami gets a lot of deflections. You know, they don't overplay, but they anticipate well. And I'm telling you, this guy can go for 20 in any ACC game, Cameron McGusty.
It's a couple of free throws here. And Dane Goodwin and Juwan Durham going to return as Nikola Djogo.
You know, Miami doesn't beat you with the three-point shot. Worse than the ACC, but they hang around in games. They play good defense. They get deflections. They protect the rim well. Early in the season, Wes, Miami was scoring a lot in transition, up to 17, 18 points a game. That slowed down as the ACC season has went on, but they get their fair share of points in the fast break and inside the arc.
Goodwin misses on the curl from 18. Here's Wong, a spot three. Ryan Laszewski has no problem pulling the trigger. We know that.
Prentice Hub has been quiet in this game.
Yes, sir.
He has been on a tear.
First half.
Yeah, he may start to heat up.
Missed there.
Miami is long and athletic. Nasir Brooks, Anthony Walker, 6'9" plus with great wingspan. And they don't leave the paint.
And here's Miami slowing it down again, right, Paul?
They want to take as much time as they can off the clock if they can't score right away.
Wong got it to go.
And that's why, Wes, they want to reset their offense, and they want to make sure Wong touches it. One thing about this Miami team, they have great role identity. Jim Larrañaga has put his guys in position to be scorers, screeners, or distributors, and they know Wong is the go-to guy.
Hub to the slashing Durham, who gets fouled. Brent Hampton calls the foul on Wong. It'll be his first.
Well, Miami waits. They get Wong the basketball. He has the uncanny ability to split two defenders. Great body control when he gets into the paint. He's 6'5". He's got great bounce, and he is playing with a high level of confidence.
Laszewski skips for Ryan. And the Irish tried to keep it alive, could not. Miami can take the lead with a basket here inside of 8.5.
And they will run set play action. Notre Dame changing back and forth between man and zone.
That ball got turned over. Laszewski. Here is Goodwin with Olani to beat, and he will lay it in.
Notre Dame.
Just 8 for Dane Goodwin tonight, Paul.
Yeah, he's been quiet, but he gets his points and he gets his rebounds. And Notre Dame seems like when they play man-to-man, they're a little more aggressive. Now, that works to Miami's favor, though, because they are really best with their drive game. They love to drive first and shoot second.
Walker. And off the miss. Somehow ends out in the midcourt area where Ryan gathers it. And then turns it over on an unforced error. And McGusty is fouled by Ryan. That'll get us to a timeout. Cam McGusty's going to shoot free throws on the 4th Notre Dame foul. 7:24 to go, and it's still relatively close in South Bend. With Paul Biancardi, West Durham, Derek Coleman, our producer tonight. Cormac Ryan ticketed for flagrant 1 here, Paul, during the timeout.
Yeah, he went right to the intentional foul. I mean, he didn't make a play on the ball at all until the end, but as soon as you reach and grab, you put that offensive player in a compromising situation. That's not a legitimate play on the ball at all. Easy call.
Excessive and or unnecessary. Not a legitimate play on the ball. So a couple of free throws here from McGusty. And a real opportunity to get Miami back to a chance to take the lead again. And the bounce around. McGusty's now hit 5 in a row after missing his first 2 tonight. And Miami gets the ball here.
First time these two teams played. I know Notre Dame won by double digits, but it just wasn't that easy. They had to pull away in the second half, and in this game they've never pulled away. They haven't gotten a lead bigger than a couple of points.
Here's Wong. Djogo the rebound. Spot up Hub. That was partially blocked, and last touch by the Irish.
And that's what Notre Dame has done all night. Really bad decisions. They throw the ball to the other team. When you get your jump shot blocked, that is a clear sign that you realize that you weren't open and you still shot it anyway. Bad decision. A lot of bad decisions tonight by Notre Dame, and it could cost them this game.
Olani, Miami in front. First time the Canes have pushed to the front here in the second half.
And the young man from Stony Brook gives the Hurricanes some energy and some scoring.
Goodwin. Djogo having a big night. Nice pass. Laszewski scores.
Djogo's been the scoring forward. He's been the point forward. He's gone on the glass, and he did all this coming off the bench. He's having a great game.
Tied at 54 now. Here's Beverly as we go inside of 6 minutes. And an easy drive, missed the layup.
That was point blank.
Works the other way. Hub's been quiet. Nice dump for Laszewski to catch and score, and the foul on Wong.
Great pass by Hub. and he put it nice and high where Nate Laszewski could get it. He's 6'10", a little screen and roll action. No weak side help. They switched it. Wong had no shot. Little energy, little emotion by the Irish.
7.5, 9 in the ball game for Laszewski.
Yeah, they like to post him up a lot in a high-low situation. He's got great hands, strong hands to catch it, and soft hands to score it. Anytime there's a switch, Mike Brey likes to post him up.
So the Irish back to a 3-point advantage. Here's Beverly. 10 to shoot, and McGusty working with it. Step back. And rebounded by Goodwin.
Notre Dame needs to make Miami miss. Miami's missed a few on their own, but the Irish really has to get into Miami and make them miss down the stretch.
Wirtz, air ball to 3. And the Canes trying to create an advantage in transition, had nothing.
Notre Dame, good job getting back, but will they get into Miami in the half court? If not, Miami's going to drive the ball and get to the free throw line.
Wong fights through. And now Wirtz with the rebound. And a reach will be called on Harlan Beverly. And that'll be the 16th foul. First on the sophomore from Detroit. And the Irish are going to use a timeout here with 4:33 to play. A quick reminder to you, following our coverage tonight, you'll go to our ACC Network studios for another edition of Nothing But Net. Dallin Cuff, Luke Hancock, Muffet McGraw will be there all to recap the day in the ACC. Kelsey Riggs as well. We've had plenty of action on both the women's and the men's side. They'll cover all that for you, and it's a local call for Coach McGraw. Of course, the Naismith Memorial Hall of Famer in 2017, the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in 2011, and it's been a real pleasure to have Muffet McGraw on our ACC Network crew this year.
What an awesome addition to Nothing But Net, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Is she looking at this game as a defensive coach or an offensive coach?
Well,
I want to get her take after this game. And Luke Hancock, too.
Yeah,
I don't think Luke Hancock likes this game. Not enough good three-point shooting.
Not enough good three-point shooting. I'm gonna wonder if Muffet wants to get the telestrator out to draw up some defensive plans, right? Here's Laszewski.
Oh, nice. You see Notre Dame going to Laszewski a little bit more here in the last 6 or 8 minutes, and he's delivered.
5-point lead for the Irish, who get Clemson in this building on Wednesday night. And there's an offensive foul on Anthony Walker for the drive. Sophomore second. That is 7 on Miami now with 4:06 to play in the game, Coach.
Great job by the 6'10" junior to sit down, slide his feet, hold his spot, take the hit. That's the defense Mike Brey wants to see. He said if we can get defensive intensity and defensive efficiency, we can be hard to beat.
Laszewski and air ball. Goodwin went over the back trying for the rebound. And that'll get us to a timeout. Under 4 to go at South Bend. Irish in 5 or less or overtime this year in conference play. Miami's playing their 14th league game tonight, Paul. They've played 6 games 5 or less or overtime in ACC play, including the heartbreaker 8 days ago against Virginia Tech. That's Hunter Couture's 3 to send it to overtime. Naheem Ali, the runner. Hokies win a tight fit, 80-76. The boy for Jim Larinaga, same song, different verse, right?
It is, but they don't go away in games. They can get down in games, but they continue to fight back. You look at those 3 ACC losses, Virginia Tech, Clemson, and North Carolina, all one-possession games. This team has a big heart. Jim Larinaga and his staff have done a great job of keeping the fight with the Hurricanes.
A dozen from Augusta as he backs down for the bucket there to cut it to 3. That stopped the Miami drought, by the way, of about 2.5 minutes.
You know, Miami's been crushed with injuries all season long, but the guys who are playing know they're going to play, and they know they're going to play a lot of minutes. There's a great chemistry with this Miami team. Just not a lot of depth and not a lot of shooting.
Good hard drive to the basket for Charlotte's Trey Wirtz.
Wirtz known as a shooter, that time an aggressive drive to the basket. Young man played his high school basketball in Providence State, right in Charlotte. You got to respect the 3. He got nice and low on the drive. Clean finish.
Well, when you play at Providence State, you play, typically that's a pretty good program now in the state of North Carolina, right?
There's a state championship right there, 2016. Trey Wirtz, Devon Dotson were sophomores. Grant Williams in the back was a senior for Bryan Field. How about having those 3 guys on your team?
You better win a state title.
And the thing about those guys, Wes, not only are they talented basketball players, but high character kids, great students, highly competitive. Those are the type of guys that go on to be very successful in college and in life.
Yeah. Well, Brian's done a great job with the Chargers for sure at Providence Day. Don't forget, more college basketball coming your way. A full Wednesday, and I mean full. How about high noon in Atlanta, presented by Geico, Boston College, Georgia Tech. Then off to the Peterson Event Center. NC State, Pittsburgh will both be scrappy in a 4:30 start there. And then at night, we send you to the Yum Center. Louisville back on the floor to host Syracuse, who just beat Boston College yesterday. And then the nightcap is Duke and Wake for round 2 at the Joel in Winston-Salem, all right here on ACC Network, streaming live on the ESPN app.
It looks like a preview to the ACC tournament, right? You tip at noon, and you play till about 10 o'clock at night. It's great to see Louisville back. It's been about 3 weeks, 4 weeks for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Feels like it.
And Virginia Tech announcing yesterday, Paul, they're going to miss. They now have a positive. So the postponement yesterday in Blacksburg was because of the Cards and their return. Now Virginia Tech's announced they're on pause for a positive. On the drive, McGusty can't finish, and Brent Hampton, nice piece of officiating here. Notre Dame got it, but I think Wirtz was on the inline.
Coaches have to not only manage their team and their injuries, but now looking for 25 negative tests every day.
And 5-point lead here, and Brent Hampton made the call. Now we'll see if I think Matt Potter is going to go toward the monitor and have a look. You get a look here first, though, at home. Wirtz looks out of bounds and comes back in to make the play.
He does. On that angle, he does.
Yep. Now there's 2 pieces to this equation. Not only the possession, confirming what the call on the floor was. The second part is, do they need to do anything with the
shot clock,
with the clock, or anything like that? Correct. So 13 to shoot, 2:50 to play in a 5-point game.
Yeah, they didn't move the clock on the shot clock. Made the right call. Possession for Miami.
Wong almost into a double team. 7 to shoot against Djogo. Boy, good hard
when you get in
by
there.
the Irish.
Yeah, they converge on Wong in the paint. I think Wong gets that deep and all that defensive coverage. It's time to kick it out.
Feels like a big possession in the game here, Paul.
It does. Notre Dame hasn't been in a very good offensive rhythm.
Wirtz a triple.
Tell you what, he can really knock it down from the catch spot. Transfer from Santa Clara.
He's got 9 in the ball game, 7 in the second half.
But what I love about Trey Wirtz is that when he catches it, he knows he's open. He's quick to fire it.
And Laszewski blocks it out of bounds with under 2 to play and 11 to shoot for Miami.
You know, Wes, there's a lot of guys that are shooters. Trey Wirtz is a shot maker. Nice block by Laszewski. The great shot blockers, they jump second, they wait on it.
And that ball got lost in the dribble by Walker.
Now, last time these two teams met, Miami put on some pressure down the stretch, and they turned over Notre Dame. That's why the Irish had 16 turnovers.
5th turnover from Miami. Here's Goodwin. There's Laszewski, who's had a really big last 8.5 minutes. He's turned it on late, Paul.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be funny, but that was one of the best offensive possessions for the Irish tonight. The ball moved up the floor. They got a layup.
Walker, the dunk, and a Hurricane timeout here. 14 for the sophomore, 7 in the second half. And Jim Larrañaga is going to huddle his group, but we've got our Zaxby's player of the game, Paul, and this one's easy tonight, isn't it?
Mr. Djogo started it from the outside, knocking down some triples. Beautiful runs to the basket. That was his alley-oop play. He's got that Euro step.
Yep.
Got a nice, clean outside shot, but I love the way he contributed, not only scoring, but rebounding and assist-wise, made his free throws productive, efficient, and he was ready to play when his number was called.
Boy, wasn't he? Tremendous effort tonight by Nikola Djogo, the senior from Ontario, who picks up a double-figure game tonight for just the 5th time in his career, in his 95th career game. By the way, the career high 21 he had on in February of 2019, Paul, was on Groundhog Day. So Groundhog Day and Valentine's Day, Djogo's your guy.
Yeah, he loves the month of February, doesn't he? But he's a great example of being ready to play. So if you're Notre Dame, you better be ready with your press offense.
So you'll see the drive here and the miss. Clock reset to 30 before the dunk. The question here is the timeout punch by Jim Larrañaga is the game clock, not as much the shot clock after the Walker finish. So Ted Valentine talking to Jim Larrañaga. So a couple of seconds will be tagged back on here. But it's an 8-point game.
Nothing.
So now nothing.
Oh, now we got 12 minutes to go.
They got to get it reset, obviously. Well, they do put 21 on. Okay. So here we go. Goodwin on the inbounds. Oh, nice play. Knocked away by Wong. McGusty, foul.
Now you're coming back to the basketball, but you have to cut to the ball. You can't cut to the deep corner. In fact, that's the worst place to catch the basketball. If you're Notre Dame, the deep corner, you got the baseline, the sideline as defenders. Bad pass, bad cut. Miami with a chance for 2.
Yep. And 6 in a row from McGusty at the line.
When you feel heat and you're trying to get open as an offensive player, you have to make a second and sometimes a third cut. It's not about your speed. You have to change your speed.
Missed the free throw, so it stays a 3-possession game.
Oh, if you're Jim Larrañaga, you're going to look at the free throw column and be disappointed. Under 60%.
Here's Wirtz for Goodwin.
They decide not to foul.
Wirtz. 10 to shoot. Play it out here.
Yeah, don't foul now.
Goodwin, a shot fake, step back 3. Bottom. How about Dane Goodwin? 3 big threes tonight.
He has an unbelievable shot fake game. Saw it right there on display. Recognized the closeout, put the defender out of the way, and put the nail in the coffin.
Harlem Beverly's first points of the game, and now an outlet. And here's Djogo driving to the basket.
Yeah,
18 for Nikola Djogo.
I thought Miami was going to foul that possession, not trap.
Well, 10-point game. Notre Dame is going to win for the 4th time in the last 5 and for the 6th time in the last 8. Coach, very impressive victory for Mike Bray's team, but they had to fight for this tonight. It was not pretty and it wasn't easy at times.
No, but February is separation time in college basketball. Mike Bray will take that win. Notre Dame playing with a high level of confidence. Even though they didn't play well, they're going to feel good after this game.
6 and 7 now in conference play. 9 and 10 overall with Clemson visiting on Wednesday. Jim Larrañaga's team loses for the 6th time in the last 7 games, and they're off till next Saturday when Georgia Tech